Am I the asshole for asking my ex-wife to stop making my kids jealous and flaunting? So I've, male 38, been divorced from my ex-wife, female 35, for 10 years, and we have 2 kids together, 12 male and 10 male. I remarried a year later while she is still single. I have 3 additional children, female 9, female 7, female 3. I have my sons over every weekend. About 4 years, my ex-wife opened up an online business and she's been making 6 figures. While my wife is a stay-at-home mom and I make $30K to support our family.
Wow.
I'm not very good at math, but that's...
30K.
What math do you need to do?
What math? You can't live on it. It's hard.
With a wife and 3 kids?
3 kids, wife, and then he has to pay probably something for the other 2.
You can't live on that on your own.
Wow.
I don't know how he's doing it.
So you can imagine how this difference has affected our 2 households. They live in a gated community. She drives a 2022 RSQ3 Audi.
Sick.
And she and our sons go to 2 extravagant holidays a year. My sons came over this weekend and started telling me and the girls they're going on a Disney concierge cruise in the summer. My daughters started crying, saying, "Daddy, we want to go." And when I looked online for the prices, they're priced at $5K per person. It's been all they've been talking about nonstop. I feel like their wealth is being shoved down our throats when we can barely afford heating this Christmas. It's hard not to be hateful, but I sent her a long text saying, "Stop trying to make us feel less than." I also told my sons in private, "Please don't mention holidays or gifts around the girls." She replied with saying it's not her problem how we feel, and when she does nice things for our boys, that me and my wife are the last people on her mind. Am I reading into this too much, or am I the asshole for saying she's spiteful?
My turn?
Yeah. You or Justin. Let's let Justin go first this time.
Okay. It's your show. Direct.
This one's really difficult for me.
It's a lot of gray area.
I always like to try and guess what the vote is, but I need to think through it a little bit.
Okay. Do you want him to go first then?
No, I'm going to think through it out loud.
Okay.
So first thought off the bat is you are split up, and what she does and how successful she is kind of has nothing to do with you in a way. Where if she has the money to spoil the kids and go do really cool things, she shouldn't not do that because you are unable to provide that for your other kids. Mm-hmm. She's not wrong in doing those things because she's providing awesome experiences for your kids that, you know, because she's able to. So you wouldn't be like, hey, don't like take them on things because of X. And then it also becomes weird because I can't imagine being in that position where you're split up from a partner who's very successful and can provide these experiences. And now these kids come and tell your kids this. So you're caught in the middle of a really tough situation.
Yeah.
And it's very natural to be jealous. It's very natural to develop like hateful feelings because your jealousy, you can't control it at some level when you can barely do X, Y, Z, and they're out here like just living the life. Because there's this, I mean, even without kids, there's an imbalance sometimes in income, and that creates problems for people. Now you add kids to the mix, and kids have no filter. They'll come back and be like, yo, we do this with mom, but over here, we can't even like do X, Y, Z. Like kids, they don't recognize that moral boundary sometimes, or like what's insensitive and what's not. So it's kind of tough to also tell your kids, hey, can you not talk about the cool experiences you've had? Because that also puts you in a weird position with half your kids. So I feel for everyone in this story. And I don't think asshole is not a term I would use in this instance. I just think it's a shitty situation that I don't even know how to speak to from his position, because I feel for him in the sense that he just simply can't do what she can. So
yeah.
I have no idea what the solution is here.
It's a tough one. You are correct. And I mean, we certainly he certainly cannot expect his wife to be gracious to say, why don't we do a family vacation with all the kids? Because she's not responsible to do that. Now,
Right.
if she did do it and they had a relationship where they were all friends and they were able to, and she was able to afford it, what a gift. But that's not where they're at.
Yeah.
And he cannot expect her not to treat her kids with all the joys that she can. And he really can't go to his boys and say, boys, don't share your excitement with my girls because they feel bad. That's unfair as well. So you are correct. It is a tough situation. What he has to do is do the best he can to find other events to do with all 5 of them. That's an experience
Right.
that they'll enjoy together, and be honest with his girls, saying, as much as Dad would like to be able to do this, I don't have the money. And let them understand the reality of it, and that he's not that he's trying to deny it to them, but they can't afford it. And sometimes honesty is the best policy. I went out with somebody and was friends with somebody that parents got divorced when she was young. Her father lived on the other side of the street, which meant he had the beachfront property, almost equivalent to the Malibu home. Rembrandts or Picassos were on the wall.
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Money was never an object. Truly, truly wealth. And when she lived with her mom, they lived on the other side of the street, which really were the shacks. Where the shutters and the paint on the house, nothing matched. Every wall in the house was a different color. So she had a tough time adapting to where she was when she would go to this father's house, who really ignored her for the most part. He was too narcissistic to do anything else. I mean, all he knew is that, so she walked into this house with this affluence, and then she would, somehow, try to, traverse back and forth, or who she really was. So she never figured that part out. Even as an adult, I think it affected her.
It's sad though. I mean, looking at that, it is very sad. I think the ex-wife in this story, I don't think is doing anything wrong.
No,
at all.
She could try to be more humble about whatever she's trying to just say to him, I'm not trying to make you feel less than. That's on you. But I'm doing the best I can to give our children the best experience they can have.
So,
and I hope that you'll be able to figure something out. Maybe something will happen with your job or whatever you're doing that you can increase your income. And if there's anything I can do to help you figure something out, hey, I'm glad to partake and do what I can. But the reality is, this is you and this is me.
Yeah.
And we have 2 separate households.
Yeah.
well, I do want to highlight 2 things. One, I'm getting the vibe he's British, just solely based on the fact he said mum. She's a stay-at-home mum.
Okay.
I'm getting British here.
Or Australian.
Something like that. And if it is the UK, I keep seeing TikToks of people that are wearing their full-on parkas inside their homes in the UK because they can't afford their heat. And I was just trying to Google it and see what that's about. And there's a bunch of articles that millions cannot afford to heat their homes as the UK faces Arctic snap. And millions of poor households can't afford to heat their homes as cold weather hits. And so I think there's a lot of struggle all over the world. And I think we're kind of at this point of this late stage capitalism where the incomes don't match up with the work. And I hear he's making $30,000 a year and supporting 4 other people. I don't know how he's doing it.
I don't know either. I mean,
I don't know how he's doing it.
He effectively is working, in my brain, at Jack in the Box, or he's working at
I don't know. I don't know how he's doing it.
He is in a low pay job for where our world is today.
Yeah. But okay, so here's where I was going to go. They have 3 children he has 3 kids with his new wife.
Yes.
The youngest is 3. You're getting to that preschool age now where hopefully your wife can start working and you'll have 2 incomes for your family, which realistically you need. You can't have one person supporting 4.
Yeah.
That's not working
No, we're
anymore.
a dual income world.
So I will say though, I've been sitting here staring at the numbers, and it's not something I really thought about, and math is not my strong suit, but I do think the ex-wife's reaction is because of this, if it's true. So he says, I've been divorced from my ex-wife for 10 years. I have 3 kids, 9 female. If the oldest daughter he has with his new wife is 9.
He got pregnant right after they broke up.
It takes 9 months to make a baby. He's only been divorced for 10 years.
He probably cheated.
So,
and there's bitterness.
Mixed family dynamics are very difficult to juggle. I think it's great if families can get along and co-parent really amicably. And sometimes, hey, yeah, I'll take your 2 other kids with the boys. Like, they're family. I might not be their mom, but hey. And some families do really well doing that. I see a lot of TikToks from this one lady who is like best friends with her ex-husband's new wife, and they're kind of like a little tripod of a family now.
That's crazy.
It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see. And so I love and respect that. But if there was cheating involved, she doesn't have to be involved.
She's bitter.
She doesn't have to help. And she can be bitter. I think, if she wants to be that way, if she is that way, that's her right. That's her feelings.
Yeah,
but
she got misrepresented. She got hurt.
Yeah, she was cheated on. And I mean, cheating sucks. So I just think that might be a little more context. There's no comments from OP. There was an overall vote of the asshole. And the top comment is, you're the asshole. She is doing nothing, all caps, wrong. Me and my wife are the last people on her mind. They quoted OP. Of course you are. What else would you expect? She is good to her kids. Good parenting. You are no concern to her, except that you are a parent to her kids. And they quote OP again, which says, or am I the asshole for saying she's spiteful? And go, yes, you are.
Look, there's
tough situation.
There's always a dynamic that we never know all the reasons how people derive where they're at.
Yeah.
This
is definitely one I would love another side.
We already did the math that we know that there was infidelity somewhere down the road.
Maybe.
But
yeah,
let's just take the percentages. It's probably pretty high that something like that happened. But we don't know what drove it to that. We have no idea on the other side of the fence. So we can't make these assumptions based without having knowledge. So let's just go on the fact that, it's in the best interest, I believe, in all the kids, where everyone tries to make things harmonious within the kids, because the kids don't know of any of this stuff. All they know is their siblings. Is she giving the 2 boys to him for the weekends? Absolutely. Perfect. That's exactly what she should be doing, is letting them have every weekend, maybe every other weekend.
So people in the comments did point that out, and they think it is every other weekend. And they think it was a typo on his part.
But I do think that he can't be, the more that he tries to strike peace with her, the smarter he will be.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. And, own up to the fact where he is and say, I accept it, and just be honest with his kids.
Yeah.
That's all he can do. And if she wants to be gracious to include the girls that are old enough to be a part of it, great. And if she doesn't really give a shit because she's whatever, she's not.
Also, to spend $15,000 on someone else's kids, that's...
There's no expectation here.
No, and he says she makes 6 figures, but 6 figures could be right at $100,000, which...
Or it could be $999,000.
It could, we don't know, but, depending on what it is, 6 figures is... that's what one person needs to live these days. Life is expensive.
He needs food to feed his kids and heat to heat the house.
Yeah,
that's his priority. I see the Disney cruise cruise could be fun, and those boys are lucky that they go, and the girls are unlucky. But the bottom line is they need to make sure they have food on the table, and they have clothes on their back, and there's heat in that house. Those are the priorities, and that's just life.
Yeah, it is hard though. I mean,
our next door neighbor drives a Rolls Royce. I wish you got to, but oh well.
Right.
It's tough. It is really tough. We live in a world where there's a lot of different income brackets, and
Welcome to capitalism.
a lot of people are struggling while the 1% doesn't have a thing to worry about. And it's really hard. I think, 2023 is going to be definitely a year for me and Justin, and starting our project that, he came up with about human but homeless, and really giving back to homeless people in LA. But I'd love to get more involved. I think it's I think there's a lot of ways to get involved, but not everyone can. Like, so many people are struggling. So as sad as it is, I just can't imagine what job he's doing for $30,000. And I hope there's some way for him to rise and get something that's a little more healthy for him to support his family on. But I also think
he's got health insurance issues. I hope he has health insurance to protect these kids.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope there's benefits, but luckily the youngest is 3 and preschool and school starts. So hopefully his wife can start contributing, even if it's working remote. There's a lot of remote jobs now.
We'll see what it is.
That's a tough one though. It's definitely.
We certainly feel for you. I will tell you that, and we feel for the girls.
Absolutely.
I would say though too, you'd be surprised what you find out there in terms of different job opportunities. There's so many things I learn every day about different jobs that I never would have even thought were jobs.
Yeah.
Some people have and it goes to a whole different conversation about some people have some really crazy jobs that are awesome that if I had known about, I would have been like, that sounds really fun. But
yeah,
I'm just saying anyone can, not anyone, but if you really try and look, there are some very interesting opportunities out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you just tried and you found the time to do it, you could probably find something that's better than $30K.
Yeah,
I've known people without college degrees, without job experience, without any of the things that we all think you need prereqs for, even if they're on the jobs requirements list, and you still just apply. And if you can go talk yourself, if you can go crush that in-person meeting, you never know. I've seen friends get hired. I've seen people get hired, no experience, no resume, and it was all on the requirements.
Yeah.
And they're in the job crushing it. So you just never know. So it may be time for a change.
Think more of yourself, that you can do some.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
I know multiple people in LA that don't have college educations and have really good high paying jobs. And there is this common misconception right now where, everyone's hiring, and there's a little bit of a sham going on where companies say they're hiring, but they're not. They're just looking to not pay back their PPP loans, and they'll make their candidates jump through 20 interviews. And hey, I went through one with Stryker, 6 interviews I had with them. And the last one, I didn't even get the professionalism of an email back. I got fucking ghosted after 6 interviews. So there's some fake ass companies out there.
And because you did is a big reason this podcast is what it is.
So thank you, Stryker. But I will say, apply for stuff. Take the risk. Just throw yourself in the ring, because you never know. You could be the only applicant that has applied, and they might need someone now that you get it. So shoot your shot.
I think it's probably one of the most difficult things, especially if you're struggling just to heat your house.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know if you get that next job. And it's almost turning that envy and that jealousy into determination and into just try and re-excite yourself in a new position, a new lucky found job, and that you get it.
Best advice.
Might fix all of that, and you might be in a whole different world a year, 2 years from now.
Yeah. I agree. Okay.
That was very good.